Sorry, I was taking a little bit. I was busy listening to Justin Bieber. That's great. Sounds like a joke, but it really isn't. I literally was listening to Justin Bieber. I know I'm live. YouTube quit emailing me. I don't understand why they do that. It just started recently. And it's only certain people that'll give me notifications. Like it told me that it emailed me that Dave had a video out today. It emailed me to tell me I was live last night. I was live tonight. I think that's it. You got to go to YouTube and like tons of people have new videos out. What's up, JDS? No, Hangouts isn't acting up anymore. Hangouts is gone for YouTube. You can't use it like that. You can use it, but you can't go live with it. I'm sure there probably is a way you could go live with it if you screen share using another broadcasting or something. You could probably do it that way, but this is StreamYard, and at StreamYard.com. It says it right there. And no, it's pretty cool. But you can only have up to 6 people instead of 10. I don't know. It's pretty cool though. What's up, Cemetery? What's everybody up to tonight? Another Monday. And the cool thing is to use StreamYards, all you have to do is go to their website and just like, I don't remember what it is. It's like an extension on your browser. And then it'll ask you like your email and stuff. And then like the first time you use it, it'll ask you like, are you trying to go to YouTube? And you'll say, yeah. And it'll say like, put in your name and password and stuff so they can access it. You do that one time and then that's it. Like it's just automatically connected to your account. So whenever you want to go live, all you do is click the little icon in your browser window and it'll open up a new window and it'll have like options. You just put the name and description of your thing, or create new broadcast, then create a name and description, hit OK, and pretty much like hit enter broadcast studio and you can hit the live button from there practically. So, but it's super, super easy. What's up, Jay Brown? So I'm into pain. Oh yeah, and JDS, when the first comment you made, holy moly, another live. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself back on the normal schedule that I always had. So I just had so many people in town and like all kind of stuff going on. Like I had like half my dad's family here at one time. So that wouldn't be fun live stream. Oh, maybe it would have been fun live streaming. I don't know, but they had a tendency to like talk really loud. So I remember doing one of the video games. I guess it was, yeah, it had to be Odyssey because that's the only game I played while they were here. And like I was live streaming it. My mom was right there. My dad was standing right behind me, and they were just talking right over me. Like just pick it up on the microphone the whole live. So, oh, what's up? What's up, Haley? What's up, JDS? Are you back? So, what's everybody else doing? How's my dog? She's passed out over here on the couch. Now she's opening her eyes because she knows I'm talking about her. She loves that couch. It's so funny. I have a grow light over the kitchen sink and I don't even have any plants in there. Probably could just unplug the dang thing. I'm kind of afraid that it will stop working. It's worked continuously every single minute of every day for like 2 years or 3 years now. Kind of afraid if I unplug it, it'll jinx it and not turn back on. Because I bought 2 from Amazon. Wow, that might have been 4 years ago. But I bought 2 intending to replace my 4-foot fluorescents with the 2 LEDs. They're not that big, but they'd probably be big enough if you put them up high enough away from the plant. And I got them both in. I can't remember if they both worked or one didn't work. I think I didn't use them for a while because I was like in the middle of outdoor growing. So I didn't use them. But then I went to when I went to use them, one of them didn't work. So I actually did a video about it. Like, I don't think I called, maybe I did call it LED grow light. I don't know. I should check my demonetized videos if it's probably there then. But one of them died, and wait, I had the dang. Oh man, I had the thing sitting here forever. Put it right behind. Yep. Oh, damn it. Oh, there we go. It's the LED driver. That's what's wrong. That's why I keep this case around here, because it's got the inputs and outputs on it, so I can try to get another one. But yeah, Dog's Life. Nice to meet you too, Jay Brown. Yeah, I'm all over the place on the live streams. What was it, like a month ago, I think it was, or something like that? I woke up the next day and I was like, dang, man, I was on so-and-so's live stream. And then I went and refreshed my subscriptions, and I scroll all the way back to like the last thing I can remember, and then scroll forward from there. So I went all the way back. And as I'm going, I'm like, what the hell? I was in that live stream? And I was in that live stream? It was pretty funny. Apparently, I was in like 5 live streams one night. 5, or mine, I guess, and 4 others. That's funny. I think I did like 14 hours of live streams. And maybe that was that night where I did like 14 hours of live streams. A lot of live streaming. What's up? Oh, GDS, do that. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. What's up, Black Mamba? I haven't heard from Bounty, but he was on my live stream last night. I was live and he came on. I guess he wasn't. Well, he was on there for like a good hour or more. Oh, there's Bounty right there. What's up, Bounty? Yep, just did a impromptu live stream last night. I was gonna go with Spring and Larry up on their live stream, but then they messaged me and said they were gonna have to do it another night, and I was like, all right, I'm going live. Heck with it. Plus, I didn't want to like go ahead and play more of that video game. I'm like 170 hours into that game. And there's still stuff to do. What up, Fury? Nights are getting colder. It's not that cold here. Although it was cold today. It was like 7 or 80. Which is weird, because it's been a lot hotter than that. Oh, yeah, same. My weather app says it's 74. I guess it is cold. Heck, I need to like turn down or turn up the AC. AC. I forgot all about that. But I wish I had a bigger ladder or something. I need to get on the roof, and my ladder is like just not tall enough. And where it hits, it's like right in a really unsafe spot. Right where the roof's all crumpled and stuff. Oh man, I'm glad we're not getting rain yet. I gotta get on the roof and put like plastic on there and like staple it down or some stuff. I don't know. That's the best idea I've come up with so far. Well, lift the shingles, tuck it under, staple it, put the shingles back down, hopefully, and then draping the plastic down and over because everything's downhill. So I don't need this rain, man. I got a hole in my freaking roof. I looked the other day and like the way that I can see the hole in the roof from inside the room is like this way. But when I drive in, I can see this giant hole this way, which I can't see from in the room. And that's like, gotta be like this big, man. So what is that, like a good 2.5 feet? But, it's only like that wide. But yeah, there's a big hole. But I guess I can at least get plastic up there and deter water from getting in. Like the moisture will still get in, but at least you can deter the like actual rainfall away. And I guess that'll be good until, I don't know, the plastic disintegrates. Nah, it should get fixed before that. But you had 4 inches too much already? Or were you saying you had 4 inches of rain this month and that's too much rain? What the hell was I going to say about that? Oh, I don't know how much rain we got, but during the storm, not a lot of rain. But then the next day, I think it was, yeah, something like that. Like the entire carpet was soaked in there. Yes, shingles. Yeah, kind of shingles, roof. Like I had 2 giant pine trees fall on my roof, so I mean, it wasn't bad. It was kind of perfect because the roof line was like this, and they kind of fell on the house like this. So like it almost was like perfect, and there was no branches until like way over the roof line of the house. But yeah, they just kind of like leaned against the house, and but in doing so, it just like the one corner just got taken out. But it's like all crinkled up there. So my dad was like, just hop up there with a piece of plywood. I'm like, first off, I don't got a piece of plywood. And second off, like, there's no flat spot on that top of that roof. Plywood's not going to do anything. Unless I literally build like a new roof off of the, like above the existing roof. That would work. Dang, nice. So you got that sucker working? Yeah, so what's everybody else been doing? My dog's been all gassy ever since she like stole a bag of Chex Mix. I think they were supposed to like Chex Mix. Dang bag sat there for like 2 weeks. She never touched it. One day I was gone for like 7 minutes. I came back and it was just a shredded bag of Chex Mix on the floor. Not one piece of Chex Mix, so I guess she liked it all. Hey, what's up? Peppers in Kentucky living. Nice. Do you eat peppers too? Are you asking me or are you asking anybody in the chat? Most of the people, yeah, I do, and most of the people in the chat do. Well, you got to go on vacation, Mama. That's awesome. I love going on vacation. Nice. Was it a good concert? I was never really a huge Kiss fan, but wow, a lot of people are. Sweet. I bet they do put on a pretty kick-ass concert, though. I mean, they are legends. So, what's up, JCT? See how we eat that stuff. Tolerance. Like the more you eat, the more hot stuff you eat, the bigger your tolerance gets, and the more you need. So you might start off with, I like jalapenos. And then next thing you know, you're like, I'm all the way up to habaneros now. And then next thing you know, you're like Scotch bonnets. And then ghosts are pretty good. Oh, nice. I'm sure I would like some of their music. Because I remember we went to Oklahoma. My dad's buddy, he just like redid his house, like put this giant safe in his house. Like it was like literally a room, but they plated it with like metal and stuff, and then put sheetrock all around it. So inside it looked like just a room. On the outside, it looked just like wall. And but no, he had this awesome surround sound system, and he was like, "Let me show you this concert." And he put in Queen, and I was like, "Oh man, come on! I don't want to hear like Bohemian Rhapsody and crap like that." And he turned that sucker on. It was live from Wembley, and we listened to the entire thing at like well, it wasn't full blast, but like way up loud, like the whole house was shaking and stuff. And that was freaking awesome, man. I never knew how many Queen songs I liked until I watched that. And I forgot about Under Pressure. What's up, Unbox Warehouse? What's going on? What's going on, Dark and Bella? He's taking your kid to see Slayer in May? That's pretty funny. Man, this chair's driving me nuts, man. It's all squeaky. And the more you try to sit still, the more it tends to squeak. Oh, that's cool, man. Dude, when I was 11, I still had never been to a concert, little like unless you call like one of those like concerts in the park or whatever, where like some band you never heard of shows up and plays like music, like at some event. Um, but no, I was never at one until I was 16. Wait, maybe I was 17? I can't remember, but I do remember it was White Zombie opened up. L7 opened up for White Zombie. There's somebody else, and I can't remember who the other band was. That's awesome. Where am I from? Outer Banks, North Carolina. Yeah, I heard about the new one chip challenge too, and I didn't do the original either, or the second round of the original. Was there a third round? I can't remember. If there was, I didn't get that one either. Um, a deer hunt down here? You can. Actually, it should be bow season right now. I don't know what the actual date is, but by middle of September, usually like you're in like a good 3-4 days of deer hunting. But do I? Not really. I haven't hunted in a long time. And even like the last, I don't know, bunch of years that I was deer hunting, I would just sit there with my camera and record them. I wouldn't even shoot any of them. But that was some of my earliest footage on my channel because it started off kind of like a nature channel because I was always out in the woods. I was like, heck with it, I'll just film stuff. And I got like this one raccoon decided it was gonna tree up, like den up in a tree. So it started like climbed this tree, and I have it on video, like the whole thing, like coming right up, like almost even with me in this tree that's like 2-3 feet away from me because I'm in one tree. It's in a tree right next to me, and it got like right there and like looked at me and was like, "Oh," and literally like turned upside down and ran down the tree. It was hilarious. Yeah, and you saw LA Beast do, and it wasn't that hot. The first round, I don't think the second round either were not that hot. Not to like most people. Like Charles ate one of the rounds on my channel. Pretty sure, unless it was his channel and I was there or something. I was there when he. No, no, I think that was the one. I think I did watch it on a live stream, but it was him showing me on his phone because he uploaded it to YouTube. I can't remember now. Yeah, I got their regular ghost chips too. Actually, I got a bag sitting right there on the counter. My head's in the way. Yeah, yeah, I can just barely see it. Where's it at? Right here. That black bag with the white lettering, right there. That's good. Packy Ghost pepper chips. I don't see why you'd have to cheat and cover it in olive oil. You could just do it. It's not that bad. It's only one chip. I mean, heck, these death nuts were like a lot more peanuts. The tube of terror, that's even more. I would think that would be way worse than just one of these little chips. I mean, they're not even that big. I mean, they're like, like that big. But the only reason to buy it is to make a video out of it. That's the only reason I would do it. Yeah, see, I'm in the pains in that. Well, wait, they had a Taco Bell Reaper chip. How was that? Was it even hot? I hate when they do that. Just call it habanero or something, Like, if it's not Reaper hot, you shouldn't be calling it Reaper. And I'm real willing to bet that it was not Reaper hot because it's Taco Bell. See, it wasn't even hot. I had a chance. What was this last summer, I think, and then I just never went back. Yeah, it was last summer, and I went to 7-Eleven. They had a Reaper hot dog. I was like, "Whoa, what?" And I asked the lady. I was like, "Are they hot?" And the lady was like, "I like jalapenos and stuff, and yeah, this one was kind of hot." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's a good sign." And then I came in, I didn't get it. And then I came in another time, and I think they were out of them, but they just put them on the grill, and they would be ready in like whatever 40 minutes or something. And I wasn't gonna wait. And so I asked the lady, a different lady, if they were hot and if she tried them. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I eat them all the time." I'm like, "Oh yeah, are they hot?" And she's like, "Nah, not at all." So after I heard that, I was like, I don't even need to try a Reaper hot dog. But looking back, I should have done it. I suck. Reaper nachos. Oh, when am I getting a new catfish? Um, I don't know. Soon, maybe. I don't know. My dealer went out of business. But no, the local pet store, I would get them at. That's where I got all my catfish from. Um, that place just shut down, and they're no longer there. So I got to go to like a PetSmart or whatever one of those box stores for dogs are or pets, and which is ironically, it's only like another mile or two down the road, which is kind of weird. Um, but when you go there, they don't have any dang catfish. I found like miniature catfish. They were like, I think I found some that were albino, and then I found some that were like, I don't know, they weren't like real catfish. But I know I went all the way down there, and that's why I have goldfish in the other one, because I went all the way down there and wanted to get catfish. I was like, hopefully I can get four. That way I can put two in one tank, two in the other tank, and then we'll have catfish. Or I would just put goldfish in the black liner tank, which is a smarter thing to do, so you can actually see them in there because they're gold colored. And the catfish, which are black, would be great in the white hot tub. Plus, there's a lot more room in that. That's like 400 to 450 gallons, and the other one is 200, so it's probably more like 180, 170. But Virgos are amazing. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, I could do, this stuff right here. This is Happy Pepper's smoked Reaper. Heck yeah, man. You can slice that hot dog open, just put a little powder right in there, fold it back up, let the powder soak into the hot dog a little bit. But yeah, and I don't want to get the albino catfish. I mean, that's a great little thing, but they're like three times the amount of a regular catfish. So like if your regular catfish is like $5, then they want like $15 for it. All because it's albino. Like I don't care if it's albino. I just want a dang fish. And something a little beefier than goldfish because those things don't last that long. It's pretty funny, cemetery. Yeah, I've thought about that, but we got like most of the water around us is brackish. So, well, at least back here. I mean, obviously that's salt water, but like back here in the canals and the sound and stuff, it's all brackish. I've wondered, like, could you take a catfish out of there and just throw them into not brackish water, like water right out of the dang tap? I had, well, no, I guess it was whatever pellets that I was buying at the time. But at one time, how big was that damn catfish? It was like this big around, and I think it was about that long. He's big sucker. And then the other one I got, well, the last one I think was about that long, and it wasn't that big around. I mean, it was only like that big around, but that first one, holy crap, man, that thing was huge. And that thing got huge really quick because I got him. He was like this big, just a little tiny little thing. Or maybe they were $15 a piece. No, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. They're out of business anyway. And at one point, I remember I looked up like somewhere on the web to have like catfish shipped to me, like catfish fry or whatever. I forget what stage they were going to do it, but it was like the least you could get was like 50 or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's not very good. So I guess I could like throw some into the swamp in the back. That'd be funny. Although I'd feel bad about that because sometimes in the summertime it gets so freaking hot that all the swamps just completely dry up. That's why there's no fish in them. Because if there was, at one point they died. And the only way that we do get them in there is like if a duck lands where fish laid eggs, and then they land in that swamp, and then the eggs, take over from there, which happens, but not very often here. Often. Haven't tried a 7-pot. Yeah, 7-pots are freaking hot. They probably have two different kind of burns too. Well, not only two different kind of burns, two different kind of flavors, all that different stuff. There's some that'll hit like the front of your tongue. There's some that'll hit in the back, like in the back of your mouth, like back of your jaw almost. And then there's some that'll like hit you right in the throat. Yeah, ghost pepper is pretty good. If you like ghost pepper, try check out peach ghost. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't think it's as hot as a ghost pepper. I think it's less hot than I think it's like supposed to be like 800,000 or something like that, or maybe it's 600 to 800 or something. I don't know, but it's somewhere around. It's less than a ghost pepper, but it's a good pepper. It's a peach ghost. I can't remember. I want to say it was peach ghost. Well, I know what I'm talking about was peach ghost, but I'm thinking about that question from last night where, well, I guess my question to myself last night on the live stream, which was what plant that was that had 4 different phenotypes on it. I'm pretty sure it was the peach ghost that I was growing. Oh, that sucks. Oh, well, I think they were all peach colored. Can't remember. But my peach ghost that I grew last year, which was seeds from the peach ghost I grew the year before, which was seeds from the peach ghost I grew the year before that, which I got from Dave. That sucker like just had like 4 different phenotypes on it last year. It was the weirdest thing. Like some of them looked like cayennes, but they were peach, and then some of them looked like habaneros, but they were peach, and then some of them looked like like ghost peppers, where they're thicker but kind of like cayenne-ish, and then and they were peach, and then there was that 4? I forget, but it was like I think it got a piece of the plant broke or something because it had 4 different stems just popping off, and that's where like all the 4 different phenos grew, like one on each one of those main branches that came out of the middle. It's pretty weird. Yeah, it sounds probably like a ghost. Because these suckers, I'm pretty sure they go green to peach. Like yellow to peach. I can't remember. Peach Moruga, that'd be a good one too. Yellow Moruga is a really good one too. But I like just about any pepper that has a peach variety, like a lemon variety, you know, any of that stuff. Yeah, at least you got ghost peppers. That's always the upside of looking at it. And that's why I always planted all my stuff like right next to each other. I don't care if they crossed. I think that'd be even more interesting if they did cross, because then I'll just go ahead and whichever pods look the best to me the next year coming out of those seeds, then I'll only save the seeds from them and then use the rest for whatever. Yep. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I am into pain. I'm sure somebody will hook you up with a yellow starburst. There's a bunch of people growing those things this year. I had a couple going, but um is it hard? Is it hot? Um Depending on well, it's always depending on who's growing it, how they're growing it, what conditions they had, blah blah. I mean, there's a million different things, but yeah, the one I had, I got it from Charles Polk, and that sucker, or Charles P, and that sucker was pretty dang hot. I think they say they're like, I think they say 250 to 450,000 Scoville or something like that. So that's like 4 times hotter than a habanero, but they're good. I mean, I think Eric's son ate a Starburst, a lemon Starburst. Wait, I ate one on one of the live streams way back when, because Charles sent it to me and he was on the live stream with me when I tried it. I think he tried one at the same time. I think he went out and like picked one and or he had one. I'm pretty sure he ate one. I think everybody ate a pepper that night. I don't remember what else he sent. I don't know if Eric has 20,000 seeds. The amount of pods he's been pulling off his plants, he probably does. So what other varieties are you wanting to grow? I have a ton, but you can kind of see it. This top drawer right here, which is like a big, I don't know, 3-foot drawer, something like that. That's all my seeds and stuff. Just entire thing. Because when I first started, I saved seeds from everything. Someone sent me like a box of pods. I'd cut those suckers open, throw all the seeds on the napkin, fold it all up. Tomatoes and peppers. I like, well, my favorite thing about tomatoes is how like ridiculously easy they are to grow. Like anybody could, you know, well, I don't want to say anybody could not screw up a tomato, but I guess you could. But they're just so dang easy to grow. And especially if you got aquaponics, super, super easy, man. And not only that, but every time you get a sucker, you just wait for it to get so big, and then you snip that sucker off and just stick it right into the aquaponic bed and walk away. And next thing you know, that sucker's getting bigger and got all kind of roots going everywhere. Like those things just take off in aquaponics. And I'm sure if you did the exact same setup, but do it with hydroponics, it would do the exact same, maybe even better. I wonder if anybody's doing that. A flood and drain system in their beds, but doing it without aquaponics with fish, but doing it with strictly hydroponic nutrients. It might be a waste of all that kind of money. I don't know, I guess it'd depend on how many gallons you would need. It'd depend on how big your grow beds are, because you'd just need like a little over equal amount for like all of the beds to be full at the same time. But you could time it so that they only come on like, one's draining while one's almost, getting like over halfway while one is like starting to fill. But that would be pretty cool. And the funny thing was, this would be weird if it not weird, but it would be something that I would expect to happen if it happened back there where all the damage is. But my dog this morning, she was just like freaking out. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my dog? Like she was really going nuts. I look outside, I don't see anybody outside, like no dogs outside, no animals, no nothing, no neighbors, nothing. And she's like just freaking out. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the heck's going on. So I ended up eventually, after like a couple minutes, she stopped barking. And then she just like comes back into the bedroom and just like lays on the floor like there's a problem, like instead of hopping up on the bed. I'm like, all right, this is weird. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I'll just go back to sleep for a couple minutes. And then I got up and forgot all about that. And I walk out into the garage and I look, I'm like, what the heck happened here, man? Well, this big shelf that I have up on, this stupid, like inside your closet type shelves that you can get, or I guess that's exactly what they are, or like above your like laundry room shelves that are not supposed to be held up the way I had them held up. But I had one of those things. Used to be above the fridge, but now it's above my toolbox. And it just came off the wall and just crashed everything that was on it. It's like all sprawled all in the garage and everything. It fell right on my grow lights because I took them out of the back bedroom and they're in the garage and they were just sitting there, and it came down and knocked it. I don't know if it smashed the lights all up or not, but But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's why my dog was freaking out because this fell off the wall. And she was like, what the hell? Someone's breaking in. But that was pretty funny. I love those aha moments where you like walk outside, and I saw that, and I'm just like, ah, that's why she was barking. Just staring at all my stuff spewed out all over the garage. It was funny. I just wanted to uh, get out of the garage, and just to do that was a big chore. And then there's like, I had my BB gun up there, and there was also a thing of BBs and CO2 and stuff. Well, the BBs fell perfectly, and it like just scattered BBs all across the garage floor. So that's fun too. Luckily, I'm usually barefoot, so they just kind of dig into your skin a little. But you step on enough of them, man, it's like ice. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Although I was finding stuff I forgot I even had, so that's kind of cool. And I get to put the thing back up. None of the, because it has like the stupid anchors you put into the wall, and they're just like little J hook type dealies, and then you like push it down, push the back bar in enough where it like will clip, and then they got these little arms that come up for the very front of it, and you anchor that into the wall. And I was using studs and everything, but they never like broke or anything like that. They just kind of like spun upside down. So it's almost like the entire shelf like shifted a little bit, and then just like all those supports were like, all right, we're out of here. And the whole thing just like toppled over. But I thought that was pretty funny. But like I said, yeah, I'm finding stuff I forgot I had. I have a timing gun. I forgot I even had that, man. A torque multiplier. I forgot I had one of those too. I kind of know how to use a timing gun. What else? A BB gun, an archery target, an eel trap. Somehow, like an eel trap made it to my house. What else was there? I think it was the shelf that hit the grow lights. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if like did like a raccoon get in or something like that? Because I had the garage door open. I wonder if they like climbed up there and like their movement and weight would, maybe that caused it to shift and it fell. Because that would be pretty funny. There's nothing up there that they would want. I mean, maybe the eel trap, but it hasn't been used in 6 years. No, what year is this? Yeah, 6 years. What's up, Pedro? Sweet. We are. See what else. That's pretty much it. Just some bone meal, some perlite. Nothing really hurt. So what are y'all up to? Just sitting around on a Monday watching YouTube? That sounds like something I would do. What? You killing mice? You got a moose loose in the hoose? I recommend for heating in a greenhouse. Depends on how cold you get. For like, I think for me, the plan was always, when you go to like Walmart and they got like those ones that are, I don't know, like this wide, something like that, and they have like the fins and they have like that oil inside of them. You just plug them into like 110 power and like turn them on. Like I always envisioned for my greenhouse 12 by 24 getting two of those. So like having one like maybe at the front of the greenhouse and one in between the two gardens or something like that. And but I wouldn't want to get I wouldn't try with a propane heater unless you vent it good. If you vent it good, then that would be fine. But I know here, if you mount, like, if you have a propane heater for a pool, I know just this example specifically, that around here, if you have it coming out of a structure, there's like all kind of different rules. Like it's gotta, like, at least for here, like it's gotta like, when it comes out of the building, it has to go so far away from the building before like then it goes up, and it has to go above the building before it can be like vented at the top. Or there's like all kind of different rules. I have the book around here somewhere. I have an install guide for propane pool heater, and they've got all kind of examples like don't do this and like yes do this, and like it's all kind of crazy stuff, and that's just a pool. There was maybe that was propane. I was gonna say there was a lady around here, like way up the street, and she had one made out of sliding glass doors, like I have behind me. So she just got like a bunch of free sliding glass doors, and she'd put like one there and another one there and another one there, and there's her like one wall. And it wasn't very big, but it was like really really nicely built, and like sliders for the roof, so that you get all that light coming in there and everything. Plus, you still have like the sturdiness of wood and everything. And I think she had a propane heater. Now that I'm thinking about it. I think it was a propane heater. It was all hooked up to temperature control, because there was a propane heater, and above it on the same wall was an exhaust fan with louvers. And like if it got too hot, the exhaust fan turned on and just started pumping air out of the room. But if it got too cold, it would kick the heater on. The heater would heat, and the fan would be off. Like when it hit the happy temperature range that she set, like nothing would be on. But like if it would get too cold, the heater would pop on. But if it would get too, back too hot, then the fan kicks on. Yeah. Well, what I did at first, I still have it set up, but it doesn't work. I like above my door, I put like a regular window fan. I had an extra window fan, and I actually built a frame around the window fan just so that thing would be sitting right there above the door. And I'd have to have a chair or something to stand on so I could actually look at it and check it. But with that thing, you just turn it to like, it'll tell you low temperature, high temperature with digital display. And, but you would just tell it like at, 7 or like 72 or no, like 68 shut off. And like, turn on at like 72 or whatever. And that sucker would like try to hold that temperature all the time. And when I put the plastic down, I would always just cover it up, the fan. And then when I would go back, I would put the frame back around the fan. And there was frame along the bottom, but then I would cut it and only the three sides. And then it would be like a flap so that it had its own like door. But when it turned on, it would blow out. So it would blow that door right open and like blow all the hot air out. Plus it's above the door. So it's like high up in there. So it should be grabbing the hot air rises. So it should grab it from the top. That was the idea anyway. And then it broke. You want to build shelves too? Shelves are easy. Just depends on what you need them for. For ceilings, that doesn't have to be that big. And I just made some 2x4 angles and then just put like the one shelf that I have in there, I guess it's like a 2x10 or 2x12 or something, or 1x12 or something like that. Because I just put like braces coming up and then just put one on the back wall, and then I just laid that 2x whatever on top of that, and then on the braces, so the braces hold the outer part of it, and that holds like the back, and that sucker worked great. I've had a bunch of weight on that thing. But it also is right next to that. Remember that shelf I was telling you about that fell earlier? I have a piece of that in my greenhouse that's this big, and I just screwed it down. Like do the X thing with the screws right over the bars. So, but I barely put any weight on that thing. What you doing? The one thing I know, I was like under restrictions just because of how like what kind of plastic you could get and stuff. Like I went out and like checked because I didn't want to like order stuff online and then not be able to get it again. And that's why I just went to the local box store and was like, okay, they got this stuff and it costs, I think it's like $100 a roll, but it's like 100 feet. And then you do the math, I think I can get 3 or if I'm lucky, 4 roofs out of that one. No, I can't get 4. I can only get 3 out of it. But I just wanted to make sure. But that's when I noticed like, oh, it's only this wide, and I couldn't go any wider because that was the one thing that I was kind of pissed about that I didn't do was make my greenhouse a little bit wider so that there's bigger walkways on the side. Like I already knew where the hot tub was going to be sitting in the other one. And I don't know. It's all my fault because I should have just took that into account and widened that sucker up a bit. But I guess I never expected, I guess I just expected it to just be the aquaponics and never like expand to like hydroponics and stuff like that. So. Yeah, Raspberry Pi. I've seen a bunch of videos about them. Yeah, I need to get back out there sometime. I've neglected the heck out of it this year. There's still fish in there, so that's cool. It's pretty funny. Although it rained a bunch and it tripped the breaker, which it'll tend to do because you got that air pump out there. And it's still going too, by the way. Everybody always asks me in my comments of my videos of when I installed that, is it still going? Yep, still going. It's been how many years with, how much time not having a roof and getting rained on. Um, but it tripped the breaker. So I waited and I reset the breaker when it got a little drier out, and went out and looked, and I was like, dang man, we got a bunch of water. It's only like 100 gallons less than from the top or something like that. And I was like, that's awesome. And then later that day, I walked outside and I was like, what the hell's that noise? And I like started walking over towards it, and I could just hear it was the pump cavitating. And I'm like, oh crap, man, like one of the beds overflowed. Or I got a broken pipe. I think I checked all the pipes though. You have some totes you want to build into aquaponics? As in, well, yeah, okay. Well, so you want to do hydro? Is that what you want to do? Because I think I have the 17 gallon. I know I have the 27 gallon. And the 27 gallon is actually probably worth it. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I can't remember what drill bit I have, but the red cups just fit right in them. It's awesome. The 3-inch cups, not so much. They want to fall through. Like they just barely catch a little tiny bit of the lip the whole way around. So I should have got like a couple sizes smaller of a drill bit. I can't remember which one I have. It's like, I forget, like 27, 30 seconds or something like that. Or no, I guess it would be something else. Maybe it was like 1 in 25, 30 seconds, or I forget. It's big though. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was expensive too. It was like $20 just for the one drill bit. Well, hey, that's rule number 1, JDS. When you want to build something, always use what you got laying around. My first aquaponics system, I watched a video about it and was like, no way. I bet you I could do that. And the next day, I had a pump out there. I had a hot tub pump that I was trying to make work, which is a dry pump, not a wet pump. And I was trying to make that work with a fish tank to suck the water out so that it would put the water into one bed first, and then it became 2 beds like pretty quick. And I got that sucker working like that day. I had that thing running like way before drinking time. I'll put it that way, because I started at like noon. I think I had that sucker completely plumbed up and everything. And I figured I'd need a way to prime it too, because you're kind of like backfeeding you got to backfeed the system, because otherwise there's all that air in there and it can't push the water up, or I can't suck the water in because of the air. Because I took oh no, that was a well point. I took a well point, which is like a piece of PVC, but they just like cut a bunch of slits in it, like kind of small slits, but they just like every so often there's slits like on a whole thing like this. So I cut it all up and put it in the bottom so that could be like the little filter, so it wouldn't suck the fish in. And then that would suck the water in. It would come up out of the fish tank and then go back down to the ground or maybe I think I built a shelf above it. Maybe that's what I did. And it came out and went into the pump, and then out of the pump and up to the grow bed. And then after I got it running, then I cut it and put a T on there, and with a shutoff valve with water going right back into the tank, because it was pumping too much water. So that way I could and I'd put it down lower too, like not up, like right where the tank is. I would put it like kind of low, like right after the pump though. And then just have it go straight back down into the fish tank. That way it would like fall into the tank and that gives it extra aeration too. So, but then it became 2 fish tanks, which I still needed the overflow thing. So, but that one you can just like throttle it back with the shutoff valve. However much you need to take away from filling the beds, just put it right back into filling the fish tank. Yeah, I started off with a lot of aquarium stuff. I still have like, I don't know how many air pumps laying around here. I know there's 3 sitting right inside that door. You know, there's ones with like the, what was it, dual lines, but I needed so many that I would like take the dual lines, like each line coming out of each one, and I would take it like as far as I needed it and then cutting it and putting a T on there and having it go into like 2 or sometimes 3 different places, which is not very good because it can only push so much air. Passed out doggy. Get the doggy in there. That was me. Yeah, that was me setting my can down. Her head perked up. She's like looking around, like, was that somebody knocking at the door? It is very quiet here when there's when there's no YouTube on. Yeah, those. Oh no! Last time I was at that box store, those totes were on sale too. If anybody needs any of those, all of the totes, or maybe not the gigantic ones, because I got big ones, man. I think they're like 3 foot. 3 foot. I forget. It has the. I'm pretty sure it has the dimensions on it, but it's giant. I remember thinking like, oh man, like if I would have known that, instead of building my own fish tank, I would have just bought one of those things because that would have been big enough for a fish tank. I mean, it's not like gigantic or anything, but it's probably as big or maybe bigger than the one I built. No, maybe it's a little smaller. Eh. But it probably would have been a lot cheaper because mine was plywood 2x4s and a pond liner. I can't believe it's still holding together. It's been years. And then on the very bottom, I had drop cloth, like plastic sheeting and stuff. And I just put that all on the bottom of the bottom piece of plywood so it wouldn't like rot into the ground. But it might be doing that by now. Where did get the plastic? I got mine at my local box store. Just go to the painting area and look for like drop cloths and stuff like that. And they'll have plastic sheeting and it'll come in like gray, I think, or no, black and clear. And when you get clear, it's not exactly clear. It's kind of like greenish, grayish. And you can't exactly see through it. But it works. But like I said, well, I have to have the biggest roll that they have, which is like 100 feet by 25. Is it? No, I think it's like 32. I don't know. I can't run out there and look because I threw the box away. I thought that after I built my greenhouse, and like every time I expected that to happen. The only thing that's ever happened was this weirdo electric, uh, check the meter type people. They come over and they're like, "Well, what's this?" And they go over and like open it up and like kind of pisses me off. It's happened a few times, but not enough where I'd like put a lock on it. I have a hasp on it. Like I could put a lock on it if I wanted to, but the way I look at it is they're probably going to look in no matter what. So either they're going to get in a different way or they're just going to open it up and look. There's nothing to hide, everything's in my videos. So that's exactly what's in there. So, but you can always tell when somebody's been in there because because like I said, I have that hasp on there. And, if you shut the door and then close the hasp, everything works fine and it'll line up. But you can even like just pull on the door and it'll open up. Because there's no lock on it or anything. It's just there in case I needed it, because I didn't have a way of keeping the door shut. And if you get a hurricane, I figured, what the heck, man, I'll just do that. And then I have like just, I don't know, I don't have anything here, but just like some kind of snap on type thing, just put that on there just to keep the door from shut. And, but you can always tell because you'll look and the door, obviously they opened up the door and the hasp, when they were walking in, the hasp closed because the door is not shut at all because it's resting against the hasp. You can tell all the time. Which there's tree guys were here. I'm guessing one of them went into my freaking greenhouse, like looked around, because that's how the door is right this second. But the electric company, I don't know about ours, but I know they, certain government agencies will give kickbacks to any electric employee that like reports on people growing weed or anything like that. Any kind of illegal activity. I heard about that a long time ago. What's up, Will? I could go for some tacos right now. Cemetery, you don't have a box store? Oh, I think they sell the same totes at Walmart. Pretty sure. I can't remember. They'll have something close. I just never go to Walmart. You'll find me at the local box store way before you find me at Walmart. Oh, damn it. That being said, I got to go to Walmart tomorrow. Daggone it. For the only thing I need from Walmart, dog food. Yeah. I can't remember where the hell I heard that. And obviously, it's not every electric company. It would be like the most heavily populated, the most, likely to be growing weed, the most whatever. But I have heard about certain electric companies doing that. It's not their like fault technically. It's damn government like giving kickbacks for doing that. They're like, here, you do our job for us. What's up, Spring, Larry? How are you doing? Just chilling with a little passed out puppy over here. So what are you up to tonight? Spring and Larry? Just Spring. And what are you up to tonight, Spring? Gotcha. Oh, we're so close. Watch the pause. It was puppy dreams. Oh no, I woke her up. Dang it. Go back to puppy dreaming. I love it when she wakes up. She has like the most confused look on her face, like, what? Huh? Nice. Yeah, she was dreaming. That's what I was trying to get on there because she was like shaking her feet. See if we can get her back into puppy dreaming real quick. Nice video editing. Oh, that's right. I still got that video to edit. I still haven't done that. Yeah, she is my big baby. The big radar dome ears. Yeah, she gets some of the most vivid, well, I don't know about vivid, but some of the best puppy dreams from a human perspective. Because you'll just sit there and she'll be like growling at things, and you'll see like she's trying, like running in her dream and stuff. And it's hilarious. That's what I should do, is just grab my camera, and every time she has puppy dreams, just record it. And I just like keep doing that over and over and just make a compilation of all of our funniest ones. That would be pretty funny. I have to keep a camera on her like most of the time. She's always sleeping. I wish I could get to sleep that quick. She literally like got up, spun around, laid back down, and like within a minute and a half, she's out. And out again. I say it all the time, but she's very tired from a long day of sleeping. And the occasional outing out of doors to bark at all the local other dogs that are out. There's one dog, I think like 2 or 3 houses down. She's always barking at that thing. And she always sounds mean when she barks. It's pretty funny. I don't think she's ever barked like that, like in any live streams or anything like that. She does her like excited bark. That has been on live streams, but never her like where she gets all mad. Oh, she's funny. Cracks me up because then she does like the paw thing. Like when she's out like in the grass type area, she'll do like this paw thing, like she's a bull, like just scratching the ground really quick, like I really mean this bark. It's too funny. Oh yeah. Well, when my parents were here, they had their Yorkie. So like that dog, oh my god, it was ear piercingly loud. And it would freak out, and my dog would freak out. And now they're both freaking out, and like one was freaking out more than the other one. Now the other one starts freaking out more than the other one, and they got to compete. And oh man, it was such a pain in the butt. Dang. How are you charging it? Through solar? Or are you charging it like with a battery charger and then letting solar take over as like trickle charging it back? What's up, Maya? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you got some kind of charger to charge it up and then. No, we're not doing too bad. At least nobody said they were doing too bad. We're awaiting puppy dreams. My dog's over here all passed out. She was just having puppy dreams, but we didn't get them. We got a little bit of movement of the leg, but that was about it. Yeah, who was it? It must have been the internet guy, the cable provider or whatever. Um, like I was having problems with my router not where it kept timing out, or my modem kept timing out. And so I called them and they're like, okay, well, hopefully a new modem will fix it. Like, go pick one up over here. I'm like, okay. Went over there, picked it up, and then had to call them back. I'm like, hey, it's doing the exact same thing. They're like, yeah, it's not that. It's something else. We got to send a guy. So the guy's coming over and he's like, yeah, I should be there. Like, he calls me beforehand and he's like, oh, I should be there, blah, 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 blah. Now, do you have any dogs? And I'm like, yeah, I got a dog. I got a pit bull. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, it'd be kind of nice if you could just go ahead and like put her in a bedroom or something so that I could check whatever. And, you know, I don't feel comfortable around dogs. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And, he said he'd be there in like an hour or something like that. It was like an hour and a half or like a little longer than that after that. Cause I'm thinking like, I'll wait. And then, you know, once he gets here, I'll put the dog away. And he finally pulls in and I just like opened the door to yell out to him like, hey man, like give me 1 second so I could put this dog in the bedroom. My dog just blew right past me and just ran right out and just like went right up to this guy and just like rolled over on her back. I was just sitting there with her paws up in the air like, rub my belly, and scared the living crap out of that guy. But it was pretty funny because he didn't need the dog locked up after that. He was like, okay, I can see your dog is actually pretty cool. But I've had, like, he's telling me how many times he got bit. It was like, I forget. It was like more than 5 times he's got bit. Like, he was naming off the dogs that bit him and stuff. I'm like, dang. Because he was like, it's not just pit bulls. It's like, I got bit by a lab. I got bit by, you know, a chihuahua. I got bit by, I think he said like the chihuahua was one of the worst because that one like broke skin and like was actually making a bleed and stuff. I guess because they got little tiny like crocodile teeth that just grab a hold of well, I was gonna say skin, but meat. Grab a hold. Don't let go. He's got to wake up at 5 a.m. Dang. That's pretty crazy. I said the other day I only got bit by 2 different dogs. I'm pretty sure it's definitely more than that. My sister's Chihuahua bit me. My dad's chocolate lab bit me on the face like 3 times. The neighbor's German Shepherd tackled me and like bit and scratched up my back. Oh yeah, that's right. The one roofing job we were on, it was just like this little tiny dog, like obviously bigger than a Chihuahua, but um it wasn't like a big dog, but it wasn't like a small dog. It was like on the smaller side of like medium. Like it was whatever. I wasn't afraid of it or anything, but that thing like wanted to like bite me like the entire time. Like when we got there, they were like, "Yeah, just don't even go near that dog. Just go all around the dog." Like because it was on like a line or whatever. They're like, the dog can go right here. Like you stay outside of that area. I'm like, all right. Well, one time I needed to get to point A to point B and I forgot. And like that, I had to go right through there. And next thing I know, I had like this little stupid dog was like biting me right like on my shins and stuff, which I didn't even realize it was happening because I was just trying to like run through really quick. And then all of a sudden I like looked down, there's like blood rolling down my leg. I'm like, what the heck is up with that, man? Oh, it's pretty funny. All right, later, my. Yeah, when I got tackled and like scratched up and bit, I forget how old I was. I was like 8. Well, I don't know. I don't remember. It could have been like 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I wasn't a teenager, that's for sure. I remember what day it was. Well, not what day it was, but I remember it was the day that like every time we'd go to the store and we'd go like buy the toy owl and stuff, I'd always look and they'd always have walkie talkies, and I always wanted to get the walkie talkies. Um, like me and a bunch of my neighbors, like we all wanted to get these walkie talkies, and finally that day, I can for some reason I don't know if it wasn't my birthday, I don't think, but my mom bought me the walkie talkies, and I was like, this is the greatest day ever. And I went next door to see if the neighbor's grandson wanted to play if he was in town, and that's when the dog broke out and like messed up my back. So I remember that specifically, like, oh man, that sucks, you know? Like now I can't play with the walkie talkies. Now I got like blood dripping down my back. Which the dog was a cop dog. He was a retired cop dog. That thing freaking hated me, man. Not exactly sure why. I just cut the grass. Like, I mean, it's loud, but every time I'd cut, because I had to cut the grass between our house and her house, because like her property was like concrete where it ended, like concrete driveway and concrete screened in porch, and the screened in porch is where the dog was, and I had to cut all the grass that was in there. Actually, it might have been no, I think no, that was pretty much the property line. Yeah. No grass, just gravel, and weed. Oh, excuse me. Well, that would be more convenient. I have the best looking grass I've ever had right now, and I cut it once this year, right before 4th of July, and I haven't cut it since July, July or June of last year. Just all that like really good grass just spread out like centipede and Bermuda. Yeah, centipede and unless it's different one. Pretty sure it's centipede and Bermuda. So the weird thing is, I never planted centipede. I planted Bermuda and I planted Kentucky 31, Kentucky bluegrass 31. I think I can't remember. I don't think any of the bluegrass popped up, but the dang some of the Bermuda popped up, but a majority of it's centipede, and that all came from the neighbor's house. It's just it's creeper, and it just crept right in, like to the point where like it would have like long sprigs that were coming off, like where it was like traveling, and I would like take it and pull it back around, and it would go again. And I'd take it, bring it back around again. But I did that for a long time, and then all of a sudden, that and if you do have grass and you're trying to establish it faster, wait for it to go to seed before you cut it. That way, and then always cut like in a circular pattern, so you're like throwing everything into the inside. And it seems to work pretty dang good. Yeah, it's and the centipede's kind of cool because it grows like so low to the ground that like it kind of like blocks out all the weeds and stuff like that too. Where the Bermuda kind of grows up a little bit and the weeds all like can populate in around it. So what else you all want to talk about? Talk about dog bites and hydroponics, aquaponics. I'm sure Lisa's around here somewhere. Lisa's always around. You got snoring. Anybody else have any awesome news about growing stuff? Please have heavy breathing. Oh man, me moving around woke her up. Good, since you're up. There you go. Hmm. They do worm bins. I've never done that. That's one of the things I've never done. But that's mainly because usually it was aquaponics, which you can use worms in aquaponics. I've always grabbed a bunch of like red wigglers, just throw them right in grow beds. They get down there, all the excess roots that are like dead and stuff, they like eat them all up, and then you get worm castings in your beds. But they're really cheap at Walmart. Go in there by the fishing section, whatever, fishing area, and they got like little containers of them. I forget how much they are. Like $4 for like 50 or something like that. Or no, I don't remember how many there are. Because on one of my aquaponic gardens, like if somewhere on there, I would write numbers, and that was every time I got worms. I would just write like how many worms I got out of each container, because they were supposed to be, we'll just say 50, and like one of them, I think I got 101 out of it, and like another container, I got like 49 out of it. So there was like give and take, but I think 49 was like the least I ever got. But I kept track of it, so every time I got worms, I wrote it down. I don't know. Does Eric do worm bins? Yeah, I think he does. Can't remember. That's pretty funny. Pop the water line and harvest them. And you gotta be careful where you dig. At least it was water and not electric. That would suck. Although most shovels have a wooden handle or a fiberglass handle, so that'd be at least a little bit better. Yeah, I never thought it seemed complicated. I just never had a need for a bunch of extra worms. I mean, because I had a dirt garden, but I don't like gardening in the dirt anymore. Like, it's such a pain in the butt. Maybe if I moved the garden and put it somewhere else, then it would be okay, which I've contemplated. But even the dirt garden, that's like a bunch of the, because to do it, I use the plastic fence. What the heck would they call that? Fencing pieces, I guess. I don't know. They're just like white plastic. They're kind of like a 2x10, or I think they're two by 9 3/4 or something like that. But then you just stack them on top of each other, and then I put wood on the back, on the inside, and then screwed screws through the plastic into the wood so it would hold them, and then like do it on the side too, so that it would have a good corner. And I did that all over the place, but some of the wood was probably was Home Depot salt treated wood, because at least I don't know about everybody else, but around here, that's what everybody says. You want salt treated, like real salt treated wood, don't go to Home Depot. Go anywhere else. Like, go to any of the lumber yards around here, and almost well, even the depot, you can like pick which boards you want. But I mean, you can do that at all the local lumber yards too. I remember having jobs where I had to go and like pick up like 15, 20 boards, and you'd spend like an hour out there just going through all the boards. Like, I don't like that one. I don't like this one. This one's bowed, but it's in the right way. Like, we can make this one work. This one will actually help us a little bit. But that would take forever because we'd have to like go through and like look at every single board. And which is frustrating. They should have like top notch board and then like discount board. And like all the ones with like knots right in the middle and all that stuff where obviously that sucker's gonna break. That should just go like right into the discount pile. But I don't know. I guess they have enough people that are not smart enough to go through all their boards. They're just like, oh, 2x4, I'll take 3. Just load them up and then get them home and be like, well, we're gonna size this knot. Like, and then the 2x4 just like kind of falls in half. Chicken. I can't remember. Wasn't there a rule about using chicken? I can't remember. It's something like too much will burn with nitrogen or something. Like, aren't you supposed to mix it with something like dirt or something like that and then put it down? Or I can't remember. No way. They don't do. They might have, like at your local box store though. But that sucks. You know what they should do is give discounts on rip bags, because I can see where they're coming from. Because like all you got to do is go in and rip a bag and be like, hey man, like while you're checking out, like his bag's ripped. Like I don't know what to tell you, but I'll take it. Like what they should do is like while they're walking around inspecting stuff, go, oh crap, this bag is ripped. Like someone accidentally ripped it or whatever, and put some kind of like tag on it that says, hey, this is ripped, to get rid of it, like, whatever, 70% off or 30% off or whatever. Nice, Fury. Yeah, I never tried to get discounts on the rip stuff, but I usually have like a good surplus of stuff. Like last year, I think it was, or no, this year, or no, yeah, this year. I remember thinking like, crap, I gotta go to the box store and buy some more soil because I'm out of that. I got like just about everything else, or no, I think I might be out of peat moss. But I was like, man, I'm probably out of soil. And I walked outside and I think I found like 2 or 3 more bags. It's like, holy crap, man, how much of this stuff did I buy? Because I haven't bought it in like a long time. And yet every year I use a bunch of them to get my peppers started. So I'm not exactly sure. We got 1 pod going. There's 2. It's coming. What's the single bucket wicking system? I don't know if I know that one. I know the double buck. I have one of those sitting on my deck with a 3-inch cup, net cup in the bottom, and the fill line going all the way down and everything. What's up, Eric? What's up, Bloomberg? Yeah, I want to see. I want to hear what this single bucket wicking system is. Because if you can save a whole bucket, that was my only problem with the double bucket. Was I only had so many buckets, and I didn't want to waste 2 buckets per plant. Back in the day, I could have done it when I had like a over access of buckets. Like I remember having so many buckets that I would throw like 8-foot stacks right in the dumpster and just get them out of here. Like we have way too many buckets. Everybody I knew had enough buckets to do anything they ever wanted to do. And I was not into aquaponics or anything like that. Then I do get into it. I didn't have that job. And now I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could get more buckets. All right. I'll have to check that out. Soda cans. Dang. No dreams yet. Just a little foot trimmer. Oh, in the back pause. Like I just saw them do like one of these things. She'll do that, or she'll like point or curl her toes. It's the funniest thing. Oh, plastic plate. Gotcha. Yeah, that would be good. So pretty much just stuff in the bottom to keep it up off to keep space. Plastic plate and the soil on top. Probably have a fill line going down. Yeah, that would work. That's the exact same thing, except you just can't separate the 2 buckets and look at the root growth and stuff like that like you could with a double bucket. But otherwise, like exactly the same thing. Yeah, but it'll save you a bucket too. That way you don't have to drill a hole in the bottom of the bucket for the wick, the 3-inch cup so it can wick up and all that into the soil and all that stuff. Although you probably have to overfill it for the first little while. So that way, like just like I do with the double cup method, when I transplant plants into the double cup, I'll fill up the water in the reservoir enough where it'll like just get below the pepper, so like all around the seedling, it'll be all wet. That way, it'll like want to grow roots towards that moisture. I guess anything could work. You could get like if you have like extra like I don't know 2-inch PVC fittings laying around or something like that. You could just put those in the bottom. I was just thinking that instead of cans because cans will probably rust eventually. Or whatever else. I guess you could say the same thing about PVC, whatever kind of chemical process they go through. Yep. Well, even well, I guess not. I guess you could, if you did the double cup, you could like move it inside, overwinter it, and then take it back out the next year. I guess you could do the same thing with that method too, though. Because once you get it going, remember Rob Z's pepper tree, that freaking scorpion that he had? It was gigantic. So would you just get done fishing, Bloomberg? Oh, I guess it is 10:16 there. I was thinking my time, 11:16. It sounds about right to about time for Bloomberg to be done fishing. Yeah, I don't think if you were doing it only for 1 year, I don't think the cans would rust in that amount of time. But at the same time, you're going to add like hydroponic nutrients because I don't know how that kind of would have like an effect on it. What, like potassium sulfide and, or no, not potassium sulfide, was it? That's over there. Magnesium sulfide. That's in salt. Oh well, there you go. That would rust cans because it's salt. Well, not exactly salt, but if you're doing straight water, then I don't know. It would take a little bit. I don't know, because I did a lot of like aquaponics and stuff. I always tried to keep it like PVC and stuff like that, like potable water stuff, and still my puppy dreams. All we get snoring. Organic regenerative gardening. Let's see, I think it was Maxi. No, I'm thinking of something. No, I'm pretty sure it was Maxi Grow. That was the stuff I used a couple years ago. I can't remember. Whatever the stuff I used, I was not impressed with it at all. Like Master Blend, that stuff will like grow your plants, but whatever the product I was using, I forget. Everybody kept telling me to get it for the longest time, and I got it, I think like 4 or 5 different times, and tried to use it, and like, oh, maybe about something else. I don't know, but whatever it was I was using sucked. I think I'm thinking of something else then. I can't remember. I used to keep the containers around just so I could remember which ones I had. even when they were empty. Can't remember that one. There, whatever the one I'm thinking of, they had like the regular, like powdered form, or maybe it was like pellet form or something like that. I can't remember. It was something. And then they also had like a jar, and the jar was like concentrate. So it was like way more, you know, you needed way less technically. And it would tell you like only add so much per however many gallons of water you had. Because I think the hot tub was like 8 scoops or something like that. They were kind of small scoops, but I would like put one in each of the beds, like right in the bell siphon, and then I'd put the rest in the fish tank. Yeah, Eric, we were talking about the worms just a bit ago. Yeah, I've never done a worm bin. That's one of the things I never tried. I messed around with aeroponics, aquaponics, hydroponics, but and I've had worms in my aquaponics. I don't know. The leg's moving. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather get the aquaponics up and going. I thought it was going into full bore dream mode. Her face is like her jaw, like she was making all kind of like crazy faces, like she was gonna start barking. Back to the snoring. Dang. I don't have any extra containers. I guess I do right now, but they're all set up for hydroponics. I wanted to build a new thing, I guess. It's kind of the same thing I already have, but instead, like interconnecting all of my bins together. Just have one main line at the bottom and then drill a hole at the very bottom so they would all keep the same level. And then add a pump at the, because they're not all level. So whichever one is the farthest and the lowest one, add a pump to that one, and then have lines running to where I could have all of them like getting top fed with water, or preferably with little shutoffs so that I don't have to um, do that and then throw the pump on a timer. Just have that sucker come on like every whatever, like every couple hours. Because when you first start, there's always the ones that are like behind the other plants and their roots don't grow as fast. And the bigger ones will grow their roots into the reservoir and start sucking up the water and nutrients. And a little one, their roots didn't even make it to the water level yet. So they're just like dangling above the water. But if you put the top water onto them, then it would just trickle down. But you don't want to like keep it on because then you would flood the plant. You just want to like do it for a little bit and then shut off and then do it again later, just so it doesn't dry out in like the hot summer. Cause that's normally like there's maybe there was, but there's normally like not a spring. It's just like it's chilly, now it's hot. Oh, we want puppy dreams. Tongue's sticking out. Can't be afraid of a pit bull that sleeps with their tongue sticking out. Can I grow anything different when I get it going? Yeah, probably. I normally would just throw random seeds in there and see if they take. And a lot of times they would. Because I always heard that from everybody. Like, don't just put seeds, especially small seeds, right into aquaponics. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they don't stay where you put them, they pop up somewhere else. But I've had a lot of seeds come up in aquaponics. I mean, everything in there has been from volunteers from the year before. So, but now I'd like to get kale back into it. The which one was it? Curled green kale, I think, and shoot, what the heck was it? Something red kale? Pretty sure I never had dinosaur kale. That would probably be a good one to grow, though. Dinosaur kale and aquaponics. Probably get big. Yeah, there's always lettuce in my aquaponics. But all you got to do is let that stuff just go to seed. Drop its seed and bang, you got stuff growing, the next year or maybe later on. We're so close. And just like that, almost all sound from her dies. Dang, okay, maybe we're not that close. I should have done it, Eric. I love aquaponics. It's like the lazy man's garden. Like, you really don't have to do anything. You just have to like set it up, get it running, put the fish in, make sure it cycles, meaning the whatever the heck that's called. nitrites to nitrates or whatever I forget which order they go in. Make sure that happens, and then after that, just plant plants and walk away. Like you almost never get weeds in there, and if you do, you're just like, oh, gone. Just pops right out easily. But now it's super, super simple. I just like how you don't like have to do a lot of work. Like weeding technically is the only thing you have to do, but usually it's up high because you usually set it above the fish tank, so it's like higher. So therefore, like most of the weeds don't just blow that high, you know? That's why weeds are usually down low because they just, blow across. But you do get the occasional one, but not that many. Nothing like my dirt garden. My dirt garden, oh my God. I came in, I tried to take out all the grass that was in there. I took out all of that stuff, laid down cardboard and everything, then I put the bags of all the soil and stuff that I bought. I put that down. I think over top of the ply or the cardboard and did that and then put my dirt, and there's still grass growing all through the dang thing. I mean, that's why I like kind of got away from dirt gardening because it was such a pain. You had to like go out there and weed like every single day. And if you didn't, then sometimes your plants got choked out. Because I get like big grass, weeds that are popping up and they're like right around strawberries. Well, they just start overshadowing the strawberries. Which nice, getting closer. Which reminds me, probably need to go over to that dirt garden and just find all the freaking strawberries I can find. Take those suckers into the greenhouse, just plant them all in there. I equate the strawberry collection at one point. I think I can't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had counted over 200 strawberry plants just in one of the aquaponic gardens, which was the hot tub aquaponic and the hydro tube and the beds. There was a lot. Oh, look at that yawn. You all right? Yeah? You having good dreams? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the it still doesn't correct it, but I love the idea of like heavily mulching your plants to try to keep all the weeds out and everything. Because at least around here, it's almost never weeds; it's grass. That stuff just pops up, and you try to like wrap your hand around it so you can get it like all the way at the roots, and you find out like that sucker is like a good, like 2 feet in the ground. What? There you go. Shake it off. There you go. Spin around the other way and sleep. That's great. I've never grown pumpkins in there. I've grown. Jeez, man, just totally went blank on there. What's the stuff I really don't like that much? Cantaloupe. I had a big cantaloupe growing in there. It was like 8 feet up in the air because I let the cantaloupe just go right up the center beam in the middle of the greenhouse. It started in the front, like right at the entrance, and it came off the side of the bed and then ran the whole side because I kept putting screws in the side of it so that I could like grab a hold of the side. And went the whole way down and around the other side, and it went all the way to the top of the greenhouse. And I think it came all the way back down, but like 8 feet up, man, there was just this giant cantaloupe. which I hope I gave it to my sister because I know she likes cantaloupe. What was the other thing I grew? Um, well, the Malabar. I've had that go to the ceiling, back down to the bed, up to the ceiling again, and back like most of the way back down. What was the other thing? Watermelon. I grew a watermelon, but oh wait, yeah, no, I think I got like a little tiny, tiny watermelon. Cantaloupe is bomb. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of cantaloupe. It just is weird tasting. Like if I get some mixed fruit thing and it's in there, I always try it because I always like refuse to believe I don't like cantaloupe. But I'm not somebody that'll go to the store and buy a cantaloupe or buy just, cubed cantaloupe just to snack on. I bought a mixed stuff that had cantaloupe in it, and I'd usually eat it, but it's just because I don't know. I guess because it reminds me of my grandma or something. I think it's more of just I refuse to believe that I don't like something. Love you too, Anta. What are you up to? Just chilling on a Monday here. Waiting for the dog to go into puppy dreams. She's been very close the last, half hour. Day wasn't too bad. I came home or not came home. I woke up to figure out why my dog was freaking out because the shelf that I had in the garage just like totally fell off. Like all this stuff came crashing down. And apparently the dog heard it and I didn't. But it was pretty funny. How's the hole in the roof? It's still there. I still need to climb up there and try to put some plastic up or something. So, but it's still there. I did notice when I came back from the store yesterday, I noticed that there's another hole I didn't even know about, and that's a big hole like this big in there. So, I don't know. Just waiting on the insurance company to get back to us. And oh, yeah, I got a multiple holes. Well, the whole back bedroom, the sheetrock fell out of the ceiling. Like that's how much rain got in. It started off as like, oh man, like there's water leaking through the vents. And then it turned into like, oh, the sheetrock is kind of like bowing and stuff. And I went up there with a knife and cut it so that it would just drain all the water out and put buckets underneath there. And then like, I don't know, I guess it was raining still. And like an hour later, I heard like a big loud thump and I was like, wonder what the hell that was. And I went back there and like half the ceiling fell in and there was insulation all over the floor. And luckily I moved the bed already. So that was out of the way. But it's not too bad. I mean, it hasn't rained for quite a while, so that's not that bad. As long as it doesn't rain till we get the damn thing fixed. It's not that bad of a fix either. It's like literally just rip off the shingles, the tar paper, the plywood, and all the broken boards and everything. Cut them and put in new boards, put new plywood, tar paper, shingles. Done. But we're now looking into like just getting a whole new roof because the roof's like 24 years old and it's probably about time. And then we got some more damage from in the back where when they cut the tree like swung down and smacked the roof and knocked more shingles off and broke like not parts of the soffit. What would that be? The fascia. Just ripped that stuff right out. But, it happens. I don't know where FEMA is. There was some organization. I forget who the heck it was. Immediately was like, "Yeah, you got this much so far coming to you." Like just based on the trees. And I think that's like exactly how much the trees cost to get taken down. So, what's up, Pepper Guru? Still waiting on the puppy dreams. What's up, Paula? What's going on? Yep, been a little bit. Had like a bunch of family in town and stuff for what, Labor Day. Yeah, Memorial Day's first, and then Labor Day. But yeah, they were here for a while too. So rather than having people all talking in the background and just all kind of craziness going on, I figured, what the heck, just not go live, at least with these things anyway. So I did some of the games, and that was bad enough. That's why I did a bunch of those split games where I would do like, I should have named them day. I called them part, but they were like, every number was like a different day. And then I would do like again, yet again. Well, that was because like I was playing, and then all of a sudden I was like, there's so much noise in this house. I just got to quit. I would quit for a little bit, and then everybody would leave, and I'd fire it back up and play some more. Still waiting on puppy dreams. They're coming. Yeah, I've done a lot of live streams out of this chair actually. It's just because I can see the computer a lot better. Get the keyboard right in front of me. Got the both monitors right here. Got the microphone, camera, all that stuff. Just is a little bit easier this way. Plus, I can always like look in the back there and see if anybody's trying to sneak up on me. Is there room for the pup on here? Yeah, she normally will climb up behind me in this chair, and then she'll like stick up like way over here, like looking around. But right now she's over here having she's sitting in the chair. She's having puppy dreams. Or about to be. There's my picture. That's her couch. Plus, it would be kind of annoying because I'd be on her chair and she would get mad about it. So she would like climb in this chair. You just see this chair like bouncing around and spinning around and all that stuff because she'd be hopping in or hopping out of it. But yeah, now there's been a lot of live streams that she's been on. But she usually just climbs up right behind me. Still waiting for the puppy dreams. So what have you been up to, Paula? Tearing out tomato plants. Yeah, if you're asking me how cold it's getting here, it's not that cold, but I think you're asking Paula. Yeah, I'm glad there's no nonstop rain. That would suck. Yeah, I think, oh, let's see what it is now. Just a little bit ago, it was 73. Or not 74. It's still 74. Sweet. Yeah, now you guys can all take the rain. I don't need any of the rain. Not right now, anyway. Where am I? Down south, northeast North Carolina. Nice. 90s later this week. I'm sure that's probably going to happen here one more time before we officially go to fall. Dang, I didn't even notice that. 5 more days and it's fall officially. Fall solstice on the 21st. Nice. Got your first ripe Ricciardo. I've never been able to sprout a Ricciardo. Manzano, Ricciardo, none of them. I can never get any of them to actually pop. Yeah, we were pretty much kind of in a heat wave. Like, I forget what it was, like 3 days ago or something like that. It was 99 degrees here. Yeah, it's been freaking hot here. It's like the first year I actually am kind of excited for the temperature to start dropping. I don't want it to be cold, but at the same time, I don't want it to be as hot as it's been. Like, because if you weren't paying attention, I ended up out in the sun in like 104 degrees and ended up getting heat stroke and like totally messed me up. So like every time I go outside, like I'll get hot flashes and cold flashes and stuff and get dizzy and like blurred vision and all kind of crazy stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to when it's a little bit cooler. That way I don't have to worry about that crap. But, yeah, a little bit. Nothing nearly as like it was before. Like the last couple weeks really helped me out a lot. Like, well, I got a lot better anyway. But like the other day when it was 99 degrees, I went outside and yeah, stuff started happening all over again. But for the most part, nah, it's been not that bad. I guess it's just when it's really hot. But like 80s, nah, I'm fine. Dog is starting in again. Yeah, I don't think I could do the frozen water bottles in my pocket thing. I think that would be going a little too far. I could do everything else, but not the frozen water bottles. That would be freaking cold. Yeah, that's well. When you said big guru hat, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Was those Vietnamese hats, those gigantic freaking things that they would wear out in the rice paddy fields, rice fields, whatever. That's exactly where my mind went. But you and now I got to fix part of the roof, and it's been so dang hot I can't get up on the damn roof to do it. And because like the other day, I was like, all right, screw it, let's just go ahead and do it. And I kind of grabbed the ladder and put it up against the house. And I didn't like the position, so I ended up going around the house and going to a different spot and putting up the ladder and climbed the ladder, got up there and started looking at all the damage and was like, ah, geez, oh man, like I was getting all dizzy and stuff. Like I couldn't tell where my balance was. Like I kept feeling like I was kind of like falling to the right kind of thing, and the ladder was kind of unbalanced to the right. And I was like, oh man, this isn't good. So I ended up having to come off the ladder and then go back into the house. And I was just like pouring down sweat. But it was weird. Like I was pouring down sweat, but I like had the chills when I went outside. When I came inside, like I no longer was pouring down sweat, but I was fine. Like I wasn't cold because it was like, cooler inside the house. It was like opposite. Like it was really weird. But I'll have to hop back on the roof tomorrow or something. See if I can take care of that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you guys were all telling me last time. But and back in the day, I used to um, drink a pile of Powerade. Like you could get it so cheap; it was like $1 for 32 ounces or something like that. And if you got two, it was like $1.88 or something like that. Like I remember way back in the day, like I don't know, 8 years ago, I would buy those things. Like I'd buy them like two, yeah, two at a time, and I would do that like 3, 4 times a day because I loved those. At least Powerade. I didn't really like Gatorade that much because all they had was that G2 crap. I like regular Gatorade, but they never had it. But I drink the Powerade. But the great thing about that was if you drink like half a Powerade and you weren't done with it and it was like warm, you just like set it on the seat. And when you get home, throw it back in the fridge. And the next day it tastes the exact same. Unlike, like soft drinks or whatever, like all the carbonations out of it. And but yeah, I used to do that all the time. I would always have like partial Powerades in my fridge. And then there was just a time where because I never liked water, and I was like the closest I ever got to like liking water. And then next thing you know, I liked water and I drank a lot of water. But I've been doing that for like a long time. Drinking a lot of water, that is. Like it's not something new for this year. Like whenever I'm drinking, I'm usually drinking a lot. So like it doesn't matter what I'm drinking. I drink a lot of it. And like during the day, it's usually just water. Like I try not to get like Pepsi or something. I like Pepsi, but I try not to get that. I try to like just get something water like. which that's what I'd call Powerade. Water-like. Might be going into puppy dreams. Maybe not. I've never tried the cucumber Gatorade. Remember what the heck? It's one girl I worked with. She made me something. It was like cucumber and something water. Like cucumber and mint? Cucumber and I forget. But I remember like she was like, "Oh, try this and tell me how much better you feel." I remember I drank the entire thing, and she's like, "Do you feel so much better?" And I'm like, "No, not really. I just feel like I drank a bunch of water that had like some flavoring in it." Cramps in both legs. Yeah, that would suck. I hate when you get the cramps in your feet. Like I'll have it in like just one foot, but it drives me nuts, man. It's usually when I'm sitting down somehow. I usually like got to get up and like step on like walk heavy on that foot to like make it like flatten out or whatever. I don't think I've ever had LaCroix or San Pellegrino. I've seen them. I know people that have drank them, but I don't think I've ever had them. Dang, that sucks. Would have been that guy that just like slams on the brakes while pulling off the side of the road and like throwing it in park and like stepping out and like stomping on my foot, like just quit having a damn cramp, quit doing it. I'm gonna take a whiz real quick. Pretty funny. That wall looks pretty bare with no damn shelf up. Yeah, I used to have to commute over 2 hours a day. And the same drive. has taken me 4 or 5.5 hours one way just because of traffic. That would suck. Doesn't even look like we're close to puppy dreams. This sucks. I thought I could actually get some on there. Like, just sitting over there, like, oh yeah, I know you have the camera on me. Like her eyes are open. I know you're showing me off again. I know what that thing in your hand is, but you always like point it at me. What are you talking about? That's when you take all the back roads? That's what, when there's traffic? Because I was on the back roads. It was check-in day. There's only technically 2 roads in, 2 road, or 2. Well, there's technically 1 road in. So it's like a bottleneck no matter which way you go. But I was always taking the back roads. And it sucked because the back roads were backed up for miles. That's how much traffic there was because everybody found out about the back roads. Either way, it would take you a long time. But with the one job I had where it was only like 2 hours a day, that was like I was driving in while all the traffic was backed up trying to get out. And then whenever I was driving out, all the traffic was backed up trying to get in. So it worked out perfect for me back when I had the other job. Because I could be there in like 35 minutes, and sometimes it would take me 55 minutes. So you might as well just call it an hour. Well, we would have so much traffic that like people would just pull out in the middle of intersections whenever they get a red light or a green light. Like they would pull out and like turn onto the road, and I would do it too. But then they would start stacking themselves up behind the original people, like like as many as you could, and then sometimes even blocking the intersection and stuff. So you'd miss, like if you're trying to go a different way, you would miss like a whole cycle of the red light, or maybe 2, just because these people like decided to like put their cars in the middle of the road. And now you can't go anywhere. Like it's crazy traffic. I don't think I ever got any footage of that. That would have been pretty funny. I could have done a whole like vlog type spiel on that. Like, here I am, I'm taking the back road. Look at me, like we're cruising along. We're like not going that fast. And like, oh, now we got to the backed up traffic. And then like, here's an hour later, like you can see I moved 20 feet. That would have been pretty funny. And you got the last job I had, I could be at work. I think like my average was 7 minutes, and that's 2 red lights too. I think round trip it was just over 3 miles. Oh yeah, and that's like a third of the drive was 25 mile an hour, a third of the drive was 35 mile an hour, and the last third of the drive was 50 mile an hour. So I could walk there and get there in like 20 minutes. It's really not that far. Well, maybe 25 minutes. Well, then I wouldn't have to park, so that would save me some time too. Oh, yeah, that was the first job in 20 years I've had that was that close. Normally, I had to drive at least an hour, or I guess at least a half hour, but normally like an hour. No, I guess like 18 years. Yeah, an hour. What's up, Schaller? What's going on? What you been up to? Growing tons of peppers. Still waiting on the puppy dreams. Anybody got any interesting stories from the week? I have something from the grocery store. What the heck happened the other day? Something happened that was funny. I don't remember. Probably, Paula. You always win seed giveaways. That's what I'm saying. She's always winning. Nice. Giant habanero seeds. Nice. What were the striped orange hot peppers? Is that is it orange tiger Bam or whatever the heck that pepper everybody talks about is? Oh, sugar rush red stripe. Nice. Yeah, no, those suckers are great. I love sugar rush. I've never had sugar rush red though. I've never had anything with a stripe. I sees them? No. Where was it posted? Facebook? Because I'm not on Facebook. But I do have people asking me all the time if I've seen things that were on Facebook. I'm like, nope. The only way I see that is if someone takes a screenshot and sends it to me. Oh, what was that on Instagram? Exactly. Well, those are pretty. So, nice. Yeah, I can see why. Those pods look awesome. Yeah, the only ones I grew were Sugar Rush Peach. And I don't know. I like those suckers. They were pretty good. Yeah. Look at that. What love happening. That's great. Might be coming. Been on the verge of puppy dreams all night. Just not falling through. I guess I'm not falling through because she had them earlier. All I had to do is move the camera. That's pretty funny. Sounds like me. I can't remember which pepper it was. Or I remember which pepper it was. I can't remember who had the seeds. Oh, man, I really don't want to get it wrong. Because whoever had the seeds, they sent them to me. Because I was like, holy cow, you have those seeds? Like, I need to get some of those seeds because it was a cross that JT made. And he named it after me. And like, I ran out of seeds and I didn't have any more seeds. And somebody, I want to say it was like an Everyday Canadian or Alberta Pepper, maybe it was Alberta Pepper. It was I want to say it was somebody in Canada, but they hooked me up with the seeds. I can't remember what the heck I did with them. They got to be in my seed drawer. Yeah, that was one of the only peppers that I was like, please, can you send me some of those seeds? Everything else, I've always just been like, if you want to send them, go for it. Huh. Sweet. Yeah, hook it up, Paula. Now I want to like start digging through my seed drawer to see if I even have them. But it's not like I'm going to start them for a while. Or wait, I definitely can't start them for a while. Friggin' the bedroom I always start them in is like torn apart. I shouldn't say torn apart, like falling apart. That's funny. Oh, you're up? So no chance of puppy dreams tonight? You're just gonna like lay there, look cute? Yeah? You're just gonna look cute right there? Yeah? Just be a cute little puppy doggy. Yeah? You're not gonna have puppy dreams for us? Guess not. Olive Ricotta. I don't know if it's like any other ricotta, I would have a hard time growing that thing. Because I suck at growing ricottas and manzanas. We all know how most eBay seeds are. We might get one last run here after all. Oh no, her eyes are open. Dang it. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go have puppy dreams. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. So Chris Fowler is the creator of the Sugar Rush. Because I don't think I've ever heard the name of whoever created the Sugar Rush. Oh, that's what he says. Might be. Might not be. That's pretty funny. The hotness is above average. It's a Sugar Rush Twisty. There we go. Sugar Rush Peach. According to the website, it says first bred by Chris Fowler at Welsh Dragon Chili. Doesn't say any kind of heat level on that one, though. Or the next one. Sugar Rush Bell. Or Sugar Rush Peach Bell. Yep. Just keep that open. Let's see how long the delay is today. There it is. 37 seconds is the delay tonight. Wow. Capsicum Flexuosum? No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Later on, JDS. Thanks for hanging out. No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. So, Paula, what is Capsicum Flexiosum? Flexiosum? What's that one? I've never heard of that one. Pepper from Brazil has black seeds like recodo. That's pretty cool. Probably not. Because isn't Ricotta, isn't that like from a cooler climate? Whereas Brazil would be pretty hot. Because I think that was my problem with the Ricottas was I was trying to have like heat to them. Because I remember like a couple of them I had on a heat mat. A couple of them I had like just sitting on the counter in the kitchen. A couple of them I had in my garage. A couple of them I had in my greenhouse. I was just trying every single variable that I could, but I never had something like cooler. I think my AC was out at the time too, so it was a lot hotter inside the house. Yeah, I had some on top of the fridge. I remember that. Yeah, the heat mat, fridge, counter, garage, greenhouse. Oh, and outside. I had just some just sitting outside. Terminated years on the heat mat. Well, that's what Susan said. I think like she was telling me this has been a long time since she told me, but it was some kind of like master recipe of how to like sprout ricotta, and it was like put a heat mat inside a styrofoam cooler, and then maybe it was the paper towel method, or it was something on top of the heat mat, and it was like cover them with like a light blanket or something like that to like keep the heat in or something. Put the lid on the cooler. And, like there's like a whole recipe to it, and I didn't end up trying it, but I didn't think I didn't want to buy one of those coolers, and then I found out like in the wintertime, like I had another one of those after I used up all my seeds. Then I found one of those styrofoam coolers sitting in my attic in my garage. I was so mad. I was like, man, I could have tried that. Hmm. I might have like one seed left of one of the, I think it was manzanas. I can't remember. I might have already tried it. I can't remember because I got sent the seeds, oh, I don't know, like 4 years ago or something like that. So I imagine I'd used up all the seeds by now. But yeah, it's been a while since. Well, no, I think I tried last year. Not this past year, but last year. I think so. I can't remember. Yeah, I started almost every single seed I have or had, and I never had any of them pop up. I'm pretty sure I used up all the seeds, but that's all right. My dog's snorting. Now starting to snore a little. Yeah, I know most of the people that got them to germinate, they said they had low germination rate overall. Except for who the heck was it? Was it was it Susie? It was somebody that lived in a colder climate than I do. Because I was talking about them, and they were like, "Yeah, like every single one I put in the ground popped up." I was like, what? Like, how the heck, man? Like, I put down tons of seeds and not one popped up at all. I can't remember who the heck it was I was talking to. They were like, yeah, I only put 4 seeds in the ground and like every single one of them popped up. Not in the ground, but like, started 4 seeds and like all 4 popped up. I'm like, what the heck? Like everybody else I talked to, I don't know. There's a bunch of people that had like 20% germination, but you said you got 10% germination. I had 0% germination. So between all of us, I mean, for crying out loud, it's still only like maybe 50% germination. Unless you take into account how many seeds each of us tried. Because I probably tried 20, 30 seeds. None of those popped up. The 4 that were 100%, that like knocks that average way out. But, all right. Well, I think I've gone long enough. It's been well over 3 hours. So I think I'll go ahead and hop the heck off of here and watch this dog as she snores and has puppy dreams and all kind of funny stuff. So maybe I'll get some video of that. But anyway, thanks for hanging out and hanging out in the chat and all that stuff. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. You get notifications whenever I go live and stuff. Pick one of the thumbs down below. Hit one of those things if you want to. I don't know, I just Paul started 6 varieties, 4 and 5 of each. Only got 4 varieties germinate. Only got 1 or 2. Well, that's still way better odds than I got. I had like 4 or 5 varieties, and I did, probably like up to 6 seeds or something like that, and I didn't get any of them. None of them popped up. But that's what happens when you're growing stuff. Like sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't. So, but anyway, that was it. Another live stream on a Monday. Did it. It's over. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know. I could be back anytime this week, but I'll be back Friday definitely, and I'll hang out with y'all then. So till then, later on.